Okay. Greetings. So this is going to be pretty much just a divine message that I was led to share with you guys, and um, I expect to pull, but I'm not going to say for sure whether I'm going to actually pull cards because we might not have to. I don't know. The messages might speak for itself. So these are some messages that came to me, and I note them. So if you guys been on my channel for a little minute, you guys know that, you know, I will be led at times to share channeled messages or divine messages that I've gathered in my notes. And sometimes even as I'm sharing my notes, I might even get more downloads as I'm doing it. So that's just a heads up. So I wouldn't say that this is like a traditional type of reading. I mean, you don't know what it is. Is it like strictly a reading? Is it a prophetic message? Like, what is it? I don't know. It's just whatever spirit lets me to do. And that's what I'm doing. So if you guys resonate with this, you'll resonate. If not, you won't. So yeah, this is going to be for those who it's meant to resonate with. And yeah. So if you guys don't like talking, hearing me talk, or you just here for carpools, is not the reading. Like, I'm that anomaly. Like, I'm just that strange thing that you find amongst, I don't know what kind of videos you come across, if it's tarot readings, I don't know if it's prophetic words, whatever the demographic is, whatever, however YouTube shuffles me in the mix, I don't know what might come up. But just a divine messenger, and I just go with what I'm led to do. But let's get into the message. So while finishing up one of the last messages that I did, or last videos, it was called the Holy Matrimony reading. I think it was Holy Matrimony or Holy Marriage, whatever reading. In that video, I mentioned the High Priestess. The High Priestess card had came out, and I mentioned what she represented, how that represented the feminine energy being divinely cloaked or something like that, or hidden and protected, something along those lines. Well, as I was led to, Spirit wanted me to open up my Bible, and I randomly open it up sometimes. I just trust God. I'm just like, okay, whatever I'm supposed to see, I'm supposed to see. So I opened the book, and ironically, it's in the chapter of the book of Esther. So while I was led to that aspect or that part of the Bible, I was led to look into the meaning of this message, because I felt it all come together. I already looked up what the meaning of Esther's name was, which means in Hebrew to hide or conceal, or something that is kept hidden. So I'm like, okay, I see where you're going with this, Spirit. So Esther was not actually her birth name. Esther was actually a Persian name given to her to hide her Jewish identity, because the king of Persia was seeking out a wife to replace his current wife. It's not funny, but his current wife did some stuff that was a little shady, you know, a little out of pocket. And the king of Persia was basically dethroning her position as his wife, as his queen, for her wicked behavior, basically, and being defiant of some sort. She's an asshole. Let's just put it that way. So what I'm getting from this is like, the whole search of looking for a queen kind of sounds like some Flavor of Love type stuff. The Rock of Love, what is it called? Chance of Love. And it's like one of those type of dating shows where they have like a whole casting call full of women, or sometimes some cases in some of those shows it would be like men and women mixed together depending on who the person was on the panel. But they would have like a celebrity like Flavor of Love, Flavor Flav. He had a whole harem full of women that were fighting and competing for his affection and his love, right? So it was something similar to like something similar to that back in the day, I guess you could say. So they had this next queen auditioning by the maidens in that area and that land at that time. So, being hand chosen to undergo all these different types of beauty treatments and preparations for their role as the next queen or the wife of this king at the time. So, it was also who could appease this king over his former queen was in consideration. So, yeah, it kind of sounds like a flavor of love type of situation. Anyway, um, I remember this dream that I had. God called me to this dream. Um, and in this dream, I had this person comes up in my dreams often, like in different occasions. But I had this dream of this man, where he was dressed in like a tuxedo, like he was to get married, and there was also a bride there. But both of them looked very unhappy. They looked stressed out. They were not, um, you know, associating or socializing with each other. It kind of looked like a wedding reception in a way. But they were just like parted. They were walking around. They just looked very unhappy. So fast forward, there's a woman there that looks like kind of like a planner, like a wedding planner or something. And she's encouraging the man in the dream to meet these women, which kind of looks like a flavor of love situation. Like in the dream, they were all like rotating, like some type of dating game. I don't even know how to explain it, but it was just like different women pretty much auditioning, which is weird because it's like, okay, from the looks of the dream, it looked like he was getting married and there was a girl there that was dressed up as a bride. So I was thinking, okay, this is kind of weird. Um, anyway, so it was all these different women that was kind of set up in like the speed dating type of setting at this wedding, and he sat in a chair looking at them, and he was kind of bored, unamused, not interested, kind of like laughing to himself, like, why is this even happening? And while I was there, I was sitting at his side. I was actually sitting at his feet, which is kind of weird. I don't know what that was all about. But anyway, then Spirit took me back to fast forward where Esther was also taken to the king's palace with the rest of the harem. Mind you, this is a Persian empire and she's Jewish, but she has to conceal her Jewish identity. So she was pleased. She pleased the caregiver. So she had favor. Esther had all of this favor. She won over the caregivers that were over the harem. They were pleased with her, so then they provided her with these beauty treatments and special foods and all of that, like extra prep. They did extra for her, if that makes sense. So they assigned the caregiver. He assigned to her several female caretakers. So the caregiver that was over the kind of like a Cinderella situation. I don't know if you guys ever paid attention to Disney Cinderellas. Like there's two versions. There's the cartoon version and then there's the Brandy version. And in those two movies, there's like this caregiver. It's almost like an assistant, and he's helping the king find find a maiden, right? So it's kind of like that. And he assigns Esther to several female caretakers to, selected from the king's palace. They moved her and her caretakers into the best place. So it's like, okay, we're going to do this extra care for you. We're going to put you in a special place in the palace or whatever. It was like that. So she was separated already. Before a young woman, I'm talking crazy, I'm trying to like put it all into words. So before any of the women, is similar to Flavor of Love, like I'm telling you, there's always like a point in one of those shows where they'll single out one girl and she'll get to spend a night or go out on a date or something with the other person, and the other girls feel salty about it. They're like jealous or whatever. But in this situation, before it became a young woman's turn to go meet the king, she had to complete a 12-month beauty treatment or levels of beauty treatments prescribed for the women. So within that 6 months, they also had they had to be purified and cleansed. They had perfumes and cosmetics involved, like with the oils and things like that. So in the evening, the women would go there, and in the morning they would return to another part of the harem. I don't know if they was in there getting busy. I think some of them were virgins. I don't really know. But it's like they would go at night and then they would come back in the morning. So they would spend the night with the king. Um, so they wouldn't be able to return or go back to see the king unless he was pleased with her and he summoned them by name. Like he would be like, I want to see so and so again. You know what I mean? They weren't able to go back again unless they were called to go back. So again, it sounds kind of like a flavor of love situation. When the turn came for Esther to meet the king, she asked nothing other than what she asked the two men that were in charge. She asked them what they suggested of her. And they were like, oh, okay. We like this girl. We like her. She's open to suggestions. She's open for, you know, probably healthy criticism. They liked her. Basically, they favored her. She won the favor of everyone who saw her as well. So she was taken to the king. And I believe this was in the 10th month of her process, if I'm not mistaken. The king ended up being attracted to her, more attracted to her than all the other maidens. And she won his favor and approval over the others as well. So at that point, it was a done deal. He set the royal crown on her head and made her queen over his former queen. And he also threw her a great party or banquet in her honor with all the nobles and all the officials. Okay, that was the backstory. Now I'm going to go into the divine message that came to me. So this is for those feminines that are hidden, who maybe even feel hidden, overlooked, especially when it comes to love. You're being divinely cloaked for protection, or you have been divinely cloaked for protection. Okay. It was not your time. It wasn't time for you to be seen or be seen by the right suitor, the suitor that's meant for you. So you might have been able to, you know, date here and there, and it probably didn't go too far. Or maybe you had instances where you weren't attracting any dates or any suitors, or you just couldn't get anything going in love. And it was because you were meant to be presented to the right one, a high value mate. When I say high value, I'm not so much specifically talking about like the material aspects of a high value. Oh, he's got to make this much. He has to have this. He has to have this type of financial bracket, or he has to drive this, and but not that type of stuff. This is of a divine royal masculine. And when I say divinely royal, they're rich in spirit. They are blessed by the divine. They are a masculine of divine authority and power. So in order to even see you, they have to be that type of caliber to even see you. Otherwise, if you're trying to attract Tyrones, and I don't know what another word would be for a dusty in another like culture, whatever. I don't know. We're gonna use Tyrone, I guess. Okay. Those types are not meant to see that jewel, that gem, that treasure that you are. They're not able to. They're not called to. They're not equipped for it because they weren't called to it. And if some of them were called to it and they decided that they weren't going to rise to the occasion, snooze you lose. Spirit's going to always replace something that's better aligned for you at the end of the day. I'm also getting to someone is being led to prepare for their divine union, their divine marriage, rather. Physically prep, especially because I feel many are already of a good character and a good heart. Doesn't mean that there's not room for improvement on ourselves internally, you know, do the inside work. But I feel like a lot of you done the inner work to the point where Spirit is like, okay, you can focus on your physical. Maybe some of you kind of just haven't really cared too much about that. You're just like, I'm focused on my business, I'm focused on school, I'm not too focused in beauty like that. Or, you know, you want to look presentable, I'm sure you do, but you don't put a lot of effort into it. And Spirit is saying, like, especially if you've been called or you feel led to, you know, work out more, or to start working out again, or eat differently, go to bed at a decent hour, change something about your hair, do something with your makeup, you know, maybe buy a new wardrobe, try a different look. And it's not superficial to do that. I feel like as long as your shell isn't the main focus, but you also focus on your soul and your spirit, your mind, you're focusing on that, you put energy and light into that, and you have a beautiful heart, you know, that external aspect is a plus. Because let's be honest, like, men specifically, they're visual, they you know, they're drawn to beauty. And beauty doesn't have to be what the world says, because the person that's for you is going to look at you like you're that everything. You're set apart from the others because you were made just for that person. So they're going to find you beautiful, you do your hair, whatever. But this is, I feel like, you want to present yourself in a way that you feel good too. So yes, it's not all about beauty, but at the same time, you do want to present yourself in a way that is best suited for you. So if you are thicker, if you're smaller, whatever, you know, take care of your body in the way that you're led to, and present yourself in a way. This isn't to pressure you into feeling like you're not good enough. But if this is something you feel called to, like, okay, I want to get myself right, whatever that means. Because you can be completely happy with your weight and decide that your beauty focus may not be on weight gaining or losing weight. It could be more on changing your wardrobe, or changing something about your hair, maybe trying different makeup, or wearing less, or maybe wearing a little more. It's up to you. But again, this is because you've already done your inner work. So this wouldn't be coming from an ill place or a wounded place, or a place of vanity, at least. Spirit is saying you will win the favor of this masculine because of your good nature and your inner beauty. That is what's going to stand out the most. You have favor over the other women around this person because of your divine favor, your uniqueness, and simplicity. So there's something about you that's unique, but at the same time simplistic. It's something about you is like, what you see is what you get, but you are also different in your energy, in your approach, not just your look, but your energy. It's also because you were ordained to sit in the position of the queen. Like, you were called to be with that person. So automatically things are going to flow for you. Things are going to work out in your favor. Doors are going to open because you were meant to be in this position. You were meant to be with this person. There are many suitors and options being presented to the masculine. Yes. This might be someone that does, you know, dates, serial date, or they might be dating for the sake of looking for their partner, looking for their one. And I feel like this person has not found that, what they're looking for, the essence of what they're looking for. There's also an unfit feminine energy around this person. I feel like that either they're breaking away from, or they have already removed themselves out of the picture. So this masculine is seeking, or was seeking, their true queen. I'm getting that. And either they've already met you, or they will meet you. So this might be confirmation of something that's already happening right now or taking place, or it's a heads up, but it still could be a confirmation. Just because it hasn't come to pass yet doesn't mean that it can't be a confirmation. But that's what I'm getting. I'm only gonna pull some cards as I'm led to. Probably won't go into too much depth. This might solidify the message, or it might go into further detail. I don't know. Let's see. All right. Holy Spirit, I thank you for your divine presence. Most High God, thank you. I ask for divine covering, divine protection. I only ask that divine truth, divine clarity comes out of this message. I cast down any false guidances, false truths, false imaginations, false realities, projections, confusion, trickery, that this message come across to those who are meant to receive it and hear it in the way that you designed for them to hear the message. Anything that is not of you, seal my lips from even speaking anything that is not of truth. Thank you. Got our cards. Some of you guys might have lost a father. Or some of you guys didn't have the most healthy relationship with your father. Therefore, you kind of had, might have been accustomed to toxic relationships, drawn to abusive partners, partners who kind of obsess over you, but don't genuinely or have the capacity to genuinely love you unconditionally. Some of you might have felt like your love life is kind of just a dead end, but there's also like a reemergence of that desire for love, or that anticipation that maybe love is still, you know, coming in for you, or is worth waiting for, if that makes sense. I feel like you guys are going to live an abundant life when it comes to love. You are going to be happy. The thing about the story of Esther, let's not make no mistake that it's only about love and romance, because it's not really about that. She was assigned to the palace. I feel like she had an assignment before she knew she had an assignment. As her role as the queen, she used her position to redeem her people, to save her people from being slaughtered and murdered. You know, so she had a divine purpose and calling outside of just being the queen to this Persian king. But so you guys, your purpose and your calling does not stop here. As a matter of fact, it's actually going to put you in a position that you're going to be kind of the door to assist and help others around you, maybe your family. And this isn't going to be a situation where you're feeding and using someone, no, because this is a divine blessing. This is divine favor. I feel like you will be dealing with someone who is generous in multiple ways. With the Ten of Pentacles, I do see that you guys will be financially secure or stable, if not wealthy. That's for some of you. And again, I feel like it's only given to those that are in a position of giving, because Esther essentially was a humble spirit. So this isn't on no gold digging type energy where you get in and it's all about you and how you look and how much money you have now and your wardrobe and the car that you drive, the trips you go on. It's not like that. I'm hearing to whom much is given, much is required. So your purpose is still involved in all of this. It has nothing to do with, like I said, just getting in the door and finding a mate and that's it. There's more to you than that. But I feel like there's going to be a renewal within yourself. Spirit does want you to take care of yourself right now. Because you're soon to meet this person or rekindle something. Yeah, see. Yep. There's the Emperor, which is the king, the angel of wisdom is here. So your angels or your spiritual team that has your best interests, they may have already told you all of this, or it's something that you've been aware of for a long time. Like, I'll use this as an example. When I was a little girl, like, Spirit has been telling me, like, the type of mate that I was going to have. I don't know how to explain it. I guess as kids, like, we're more receptive to hear, you know, our intuition. And it might come across as just, like, fairy tales and fantasies. But those things still stick with me. And I still can recall the things that Spirit said to me as a little girl. So that might resonate with someone. You have the Knight of Cups with spirituality. So this person is going to be a humble spirit as well, and I feel like this is someone that too has a spiritual purpose, a spiritual calling. They're also very romantic and very sweet, very chivalrous. I feel like they have a balance to them, a healthy balance where they have, um, they're very responsible people. They might be in a position as a leader or some type of an authority position. Um, but I feel like they come from a place of heart. To me, a true king is not someone that uses their authority to step on people's necks and backs and abuse their authority by hurting others, and someone that looks at their masculinity as some type of badge to mistreat others or to abuse women and things like that. That's not a true king. This person is the opposite. They're very humble and very respectful. They know their position. They know how important their position is. See, a true leader is humble. A true leader makes sure everybody is in alignment. Everybody knows what their position is, and they also teach them and show them the ways of walking in that position, or allow them, because when you're in a seat of authority, you're given certain instructions or certain rules. When it's divine authority, you're coming from a divinity. You're coming from a God-like place. And it's not complex, make no mistake, not God complex, where you have a false sense of what God is and you think that God is this authoritative figure that steps, like I said, abuses their power, hurts and harms people, selfish. It's not that type of energy. Leadership is leading the people in love, leading them. It's an honorable position, comes from a place of integrity. It's not to say that this person takes, just puts up with anything. I feel like this person doesn't take no shit. There's someone to be respected and honored. And I feel like the feminine will still have a level of independence where she can still be herself and speak her mind and speak her truth. This is definitely Esther energy. Esther was a spiritual warrior as well. She didn't play no games. She has a perfect balance of divine feminine energy, but also divine masculine energy within self as well. This person is divinely your balance. I'm not sure why that juggling card is there. I'm going to have to clarify that. This is someone that will be your protector. They're very protective as well. For like, this person dresses well, regardless of how much the garments that they're wearing cost. It doesn't even matter. They just dress well. They know how to dress. They smell good. They take care of themselves. Then you have the Page of Cups, friendship. It could be that this is a friendship too, so it's kind of like it has to find its footing. For some of you, it could be that this person is still juggling, some people that they're dating, but it's nothing serious. I feel like they would consider these people as just friends. They might tell you that, like, oh no, this is just a friend. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. I feel like that's honest. They're being truthful. I don't feel like, again, I have to say this because this is something that keeps coming up in readings, and I feel this. Your person that's meant for you is not going to be like anyone else. Just like how you're going to be set apart from the rest, so are they. And that's how you distinctively know that this is your person, because the circumstances are very different. The energy is different. The process is very different. And I'm getting as well, like, this is a person that stands in who they are. They don't waver in that. This isn't somebody that's going to put you through the ringer, put you on a roller coaster ride of love. Like, it's not going to be a whole bunch of ups and downs. Not saying that you guys won't have your differences and things to work through, But it's not going to be a situation where you're always wondering or unsure where you stand with this person, and where they ghost you and then they come back. If this person is the type that likes their space, they'll tell you, hey, I need some space for myself. They're going to be straight up and honest with you. They're not going to be making up stories or ghost you and then come back and have an excuse. Like, that's not this type of person. This is a straight up individual. So that's how you know it's like this person is definitely set apart from the rest. It's something about their character, not so much the physical. Don't get caught up in that so much. Yes, this person's going to be attractive to you, just like you're going to be attractive to them. But what I'm getting is like Spirit saying pay attention to their character. It has nothing to do with what they look like, because they very well could have traits, physical traits of somebody that you dated before, or has attributes of what you might go for sometimes. But the character of the person, the heart of the person, is what Spirit wants you to pay attention to. Because this is not somebody that is going to play games and all of that. This is somebody that knows what they want. If they don't want you, they'll tell you. If they want to see you, they want to be with you, they'll tell you. They're a man of action. That's what I'm getting. That's just the energy that I'm picking up. I don't feel like this is somebody that's going to waste your time, because Spirit is bringing you to them. It's guiding you, divinely leading you to this person and their energy to you, because it's like you guys both have to be aligned and ready for this. So the fact that the king was looking for an honorable wife, that means he was in a position to be receptive for the type of woman that Esther is, the type of caliber of a woman that she is. And Esther being prepared to be a part. She was, if you were to put her in the room with all the others, knowing that she was a Jew and they were, you know, of their culture, she probably would have been singled out for that mere fact. If you look at it in that sense, she didn't belong with the other women, but that's not true. Who's to say that? So some of you might feel like, I don't belong with this person, or we don't belong together, or we're too different, or they're from this culture, I'm from that culture, or this status, or this age. And I'm not condoning underage shit. We're not doing the R. Kelly stuff. But you know what I mean? Like, it could be, you know, you're well in your 40s and this person is in their 30s or something like that. Or you're in your late 30s and this person might be in their mid to early 20s, something like that, or vice versa. Or something with race, culture, religious backgrounds. But if it's something that Spirit says that you guys, in spite of your differences, I've called you to be together, because God looks at the spirit of a person. It's a soul connection. So it's not about all the social constructs that man has created in this earth. It's not about that stuff. That comes last. God has the final say so, or word. So you might feel like it's a least likely situation or circumstance, but God says, I called you to that. I'm going to cloak you and I'm going to protect your true identity. Not saying that you have to be fake or phony. It wasn't meant for other people to see your worth and your value in the way that this person was, because they were not divinely assigned to be with you like this person is. So you'll be put in a position, maybe amongst other women that may have certain looks or statures or status, and you might be the opposite of that. Let's say this person goes for blondes and you being the only redhead in the room, or this person likes thick curvy women and you're more of a petite small type, or this person usually goes for the model types or the IG, what they call IG models type, you know, the fitness baddies or whatever, the stuff that, you know, men is physically appeasing, you know, visually appeasing and appealing, you know, to the eye and to the flesh. It, you know, it looks good, but you might not be all in that. You know, not saying that you're not beautiful or you're not considered a baddie, as we call it nowadays, but you're not that type. And it's kind of like you would feel like, why would this person even like talk to me, or why would they look at me? Or you might be surprised, like, I didn't think, you know, I'm fine and everything, or I'm cute or whatever. I just didn't think you would be interested in my type, or, you know, the people at least, or the ones that I've seen you date. I wouldn't think that you would be into me like that. So some of you guys might just feel like that, or it's just an unlikely circumstance or situation where you would feel kind of like you wouldn't fit. But spirit is like that favor on you. I'm putting you in the position of that. So if you want to talk about a biblical Cinderella story, this kind of would be that in a way, just for that comparison of how Cinderella was a servant girl in a sense to her stepmother and her stepsisters, and she was going amongst a royal prince, and she really didn't have much, but that favor on her godmother, you know, came through and supplied and hooked her up, you know, with a fly dress and a fly pumpkin that turned into a carriage. And got her in that place where she stood out amongst everybody. I bet you $1,000,000, like if you put that in a modern day sense, all the women up in the land or whatever, the maidens that came to that party that the prince was having, they probably all had on dresses from the same boutique, the same online shopping, whatever, Fashion Nova, Pretty Little Thing dresses on. Probably some of them had, I don't know, probably had on some expensive shit. But Cinderella shows up in some stuff that she just put together. Not necessarily she put together, but her spirit guides hooked her up. Her fairy godmother hooked her up. And she had on something that was unique, and it wasn't what she was wearing. Remember Cinderella in the movie, she was depicted as humble. She was depicted as a hard worker. Even though she was going through a lot of torment in her situation and mistreatment, she was not being loved in the way that she deserved to, but still she had that humility in her. So her essence, her energy captivated the prince because it was set apart. And I noticed this, like Spirit's putting, I haven't even watched this movie in a minute, but Spirit's bringing me back to the movie, the cartoon one, because I love the Brandy one too. But it's bringing back to the cartoon version. And at the party, it was like women, they, you know, what girls do, we snicker, you know, we might look at sideways and stuff, you know, little catty stuff sometimes. And they're like bringing me back to like women gossiping and kind of like doing the most to be seen by the prince, and, you know, just doing too much. Cinderella, all she had to do was just walk down the motherfucking steps, and the prince was already like, who was that? She's not doing all that extra stuff to be seen and to be noticed. So you don't have to do anything but be yourself. Yes, you want to look nice and present yourself, but it's the energy. The dress is an accentuation, if I'm saying that right, of you. You're not being worn by the dress. Like my sister be saying, like, it's not, some people, the clothes wear them. They don't rock the clothes. They don't bring that extra oomph out of it. And even sometimes, even the baddest chick in the room with the expensive labels and all of that, still that essence is missing. Like I can see, like, yeah, she's fly, blah blah, but it's something that's lacking. And I feel you cannot compare or compete with other people, because when something is for you, and it's going to come to pass. And that's why we don't have to overextend. We don't have to chase. We don't have to prove anything. We don't have to compete. If it's for you, it's for you. You ain't got to do all of that. And that's what we miss sometimes. And I said this all the time. I don't know if this is true or not, but I just feel like that it's a myth where they say that, oh, there's not enough men to go around. There's more women on this planet than there is men. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I feel like that's some propaganda, you know, some old toxic masculine witchery, witchcraft, foolery, fuckery. It's a lie. I feel like that's a lie. I don't believe that. I believe there's someone for everyone, especially if, you know, that's what you desire out of life. I don't feel like people just get cheated out of it. I just don't believe that. I feel like it's some bullshit. Maybe That's the Pisces energy in me. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little naive, but I don't believe that. I feel like it's bullshit. But we're gonna close it out here because I'm almost at 40 minutes. Yeah, that's long story short. Long story short reading. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until next time, peace.